Okay, so I had some ideas, which I'm going to quickly cover because I'm still at work, but I figured I'd do this real quick because I didn't want to forget it, but I also didn't want to spend a whole lot of time writing because I'm at work. So it just came to my attention that it is possible for the SANs, and therefore anyone, to derive the zero-dimensional properties of a subject pretty much directly from the relations that they have. If, in other words, you were to find every single relation that that person has, even though that's impossible, the more relations that you have of a person, when you start compiling those, you get a clearer and clearer and clearer and hopefully more in-depth view of who that person is as a subject, as a zero-dimensional entity. What I have previously called a soul or the subconscious. Now, there are no such things as perfectly flat or zero space objects. There is no object that doesn't extend at the very least into abstract space. In order for it to be an independent thing, it has to have relative distance, which means it has to have a relation to something else, and it has to therefore not be that thing. It has to be independent from it. So there's the peripheral edge of the subject. That's what we call ourselves. That would be our will. That's our cumulative intent for that present moment. And I say cumulative because it's an aggregate of all those micro-subjects, or those little mini intents or drives. So, who we are as individuals, ultimately, then, is an aggregate of all those little mini intents. And each of those intents, it reminds me, I might be misusing this term, but I remember it as superpositioning, which is there's a separate trajectory, and Feynman did work on this. There's a separate trajectory or a separate microstate for every possible macro state, for every state that the entire object is in, or the entire subject in this case, is an aggregate of a multiplicity of varying different momenta. Each trajectory has its own momentum. Some of them are stronger than others. Some of them are completely off from the others. Some of them group together. It just depends on what those drives are doing. So when we look at the total self, at the zero-dimensional level, what that is it's our intent. That intent then bleeds over into our mind, and our mind is then directed to fulfill the wishes of that intent. And that is what thinking is. The mind is just bending to the whim of the idea, as I used to put it. And that idea is then what our intent is serving. Our intent is trying to figure out, okay, I'm aware of this state, I'm aware of that state, I know I'm in this state now, I'd like to be